group is Fabulous Four. We are working the Next Gen project with Youth for Christ. Youth for Christ is part of a national organization. Part of what they do is Young Life, where they work with young people. Youth for Christ Columbus works with about 4,000 young people a year, where they teach them different soft skills and life skills. And our original scope of what we were going to do for them is millennial engagement.
As part of our engagement, we decided to create surveys. We created 3 surveys for Youth for Christ: a youth survey, a non-participant survey, and a participant survey. The youth survey was handed out to the youth at the City Life summer camp this summer. It was used to help decide what type of mentors they wanted, if they knew what a mentor was, and if they've had members before, so we knew how to better serve them. The non-participant surveys are used to send out to the general public. We are hoping Youth for Christ can use these surveys to help determine why somebody would want to be a mentor or volunteer, or what keeps them from volunteering. We also created a participant survey, which will help to decide why the participants that they currently have volunteer, are willing to give their time, what they get out of it, or what they hope to get out of it.
We came up with the idea of a participant journey. The idea of a participant journey is to map out all the various volunteer opportunities within the ministries of Youth for Christ. From identifying the various opportunities, you then identify whether or not it's an entry-level opportunity, what's the time commitment, and so that you can document what your needs are for all the various programs.
So for the social media aspect of this project, we had to figure out what Central Ohio Youth for Christ was currently doing. And after initial research, we found that while they were posting content that told a great story, no one was sharing these stories. So we had to figure out a way to interact with millennials and get them to share the content in these stories. And the first step is figuring out what channels they were using. After some research, we found that most millennials are using Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. So after we figured that out, the second step was figuring out how to reach them. Each of these channels require a very distinct way of interacting with the user, so we had to figure out how, when, and how often to post the content. And the final step was figuring out what content was meaningful for them.
Although we don't have results, we are introducing a plan for Youth for Christ. And in that plan, we're talking about, as Ron said earlier, the participants and volunteer journey. We're giving them steps, making recommendations on different welcome emails and steps that staff and team can take when communicating in order to get both the participants as well as the prospective volunteers and mentors engaged with their programs and the volunteer opportunities.
The new idea or aha moment that I learned from this project was the CARE model. I think that we used the CARE model and we applied it to our mission. Connect, align, release, and encourage. We connected with the mission by going to the City Life tour and also the Be the Story luncheon, where we are able to meet volunteers and prospective donors and current donors. We tried to align the missions once with what we felt they really needed. We also released to them some tricks and tools that they could use for future.
And to me, the biggest impact or change in my life from this project was really understanding what's going on in my community. You always hear about different social issues, but until you meet that person and hear the story from them personally, it changes your life completely. I feel like walking away from this project, I have so much respect for the people that walk into this door. They're so humbling and so motivating to see them turn their life completely around and then turn around and help other people do the exact same thing.
The primary challenge that we encountered with our service project was that during the discovery phase of our project, we identified other opportunities for improvement. That clouded our objective, and we had a difficult time to refocus on what our primary objective was from that point moving forward. We all had very, very busy schedules, we had difficulty meeting, and we had difficulty getting some feedback, and it created put us in a position where we were just lingering in a state of ambiguity. My recommendation is that if you get into that position as a group, you need to practice some of the same skills that you would in your own personal life, of self-awareness. You have to be aware of what your objective is and continually ask are we making progress moving forward?